So it's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. The dialogue is on. Dialogue with Dozell. You got your boy, one half of the show, one half of the dialogue. Dozell, DV, I'm here. KV may be around. We're not sure. We're waiting to see. In the meantime, in between time, listen, let's kind of go back to 1994, 93, somewhere along in there, when the Martin Show was first hitting the airwaves, somewhere back in there, the mid to late 80s, 90s. I say 80s to 90s, mid to late 90s. And I remember when it first came on, Martin would be on the set, on a stool, looking out at the audience, and he'd give an intro into the show. I can remember him talking about Miss Jerry and somebody else. But anyway, just think of this, what this is. This is the same type of Martin Lawrence intro into tonight's show. So it was 1967. I was 10 years old. You do the math. What turned out to be a hot, muggy funeral in Tampa, Florida. Our family convened there for the funeral of a family member. And afterwards, my dad, oh my gosh, when my dad and my uncle got together, they were like two laughing, I can't say hyenas, but they were hilarious. You could not be in their presence and not fall out hearing them laugh. Next thing I knew, they were doodling on some paper. We left Tampa that Sunday morning. We were back over that Tuesday for what turned out to be a cross-country trip from Tampa to LA and back, all points in between, which was an exciting trip. I ended up taking, the wife and I ended up taking our kids on similar trips. I can remember 3 big long trips we took. One was almost cross-country, was when we lived in Chicago, out west and back. But they were exciting trips. I still have vivid memories of that trip in 1967, my first headache in Las Vegas on my 10th birthday. But when I saw my friend, who we met back in November on a celebrity cruise ship, on his Harley and biking across the country, and then stopping every day or whenever he decided to stop, sharing with us photos, telling us where he was, doing lives on Facebook and stuff like that. This shadow, we have to live through that. Man, it was like I was traveling across the country with him. So that's what tonight's show is about. We are going to relive Albert Dodd. He's an awesome brother. He's going to introduce him. He's going to tell what he does a little later. Awesome brother. Man, just our lives have been enhanced. And his trip took us across country and back. And I hope you're blessed through tonight's show. Albert Dodd, come on, man, and share with us. Share with our Facebook audience, our YouTube audience. You're on the dialogue, man. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent, Dozell. I appreciate the opportunity to get a chance to speak to these wonderful groups of men and women. But I'm doing excellent.
Well, Albert, listen, we're going to talk about it on the other half of the show, more explicitly what you do. But just kind of briefly introduce yourself, man.
Absolutely. My name's Albert Dodd, born and raised in Fort Pierce, Florida. Graduate of Florida A&M University, English major, former English teacher. Now I'm a business owner. I run a financial firm at Primerica, and got 2 kids. Got one in college, one 20 years old, going into his junior year in college, and my 17-year-old is now a senior in high school. So we're excited. Definitely excited about them. Both of them are straight A students, and so I couldn't be more happy as a proud parent to see those young men become adults themselves.
So Albert, I gotta say this, man. You must have had those kids when you were in middle school, junior high school, whatever it was, because you don't look a bit over 30 yourself. So anyway,
right.
All right. So we're not gonna waste any time. We're getting right into the show. A lot of stuff we're going to do tonight. Albert, tell us about your trip. Tell us what precipitated it, your routes, your planning. Just tell us about your trip, man.
Absolutely. I told myself I wanted to do something different. And recently I started riding motorcycles about 2.5, 3 years ago. And as a way for me to just kind of get out and ride to the beach. I mean, I live in Florida, we got water. I live in Orlando, Florida, so there's water on both sides. So it's a hour trip this way, hour trip that way, and I'm always at the water. So so I was so on nice evenings, I would like to go out for a ride and just really do things like that. And I'm so used to traveling, but I'm always traveling mostly by air. And when I would travel on the highway, I would say, well, why not ride the bike? Why not do so? So I had a Sawtail Slim motorcycle, which was a great motorcycle, loved it. But then Harley also has bikes that are more so made for touring. And when I realized that I really like to ride, I said, well, listen, if I had a bike made for touring, then I could take a lot of my things with me that I would normally take in a car on a plane, and really just take my time and enjoy the country, and really take my time and enjoy the scenery and see God's beautiful creations that he's made throughout this country on a motorcycle, by touring by motorcycle, which is touring by land. And I was never interested in doing it in a car. But when I started thinking about riding my motorcycle, and I have been riding now for about 2 years, 2.5 years, I say, man, you know what? I would really love to go from coast to coast on the motorcycle. To me, that would be not only a fun ride, but it would be a great opportunity for me to stop, stay, and experience different places along the way and enjoy the motorcycle simultaneously. So I started getting that bug. I had the idea back in February, and in March I started putting the plan together to like, what day do I want to do this? And as a bowler, I bowled throughout the year. And when the bowling season ended in May, I told myself in March, you know what? I'm going to take off on June 1st. June 1st is going to be the day, that I take off and I go explore this country from coast to coast, go from here all the way to California. And then it was very fun and exciting because I got to make up stops along the way that I wanted to kind of see and experience and explore. And one of my first stops was going to be Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi. And Biloxi, I had a tournament that I wanted to bowl in the summer. And I said, well, you listen, I can just have my ball shipped out there, and I can ride my bike out there too as well, and still bowl in the tournament along the way. So my first stop was Biloxi, Mississippi. I stayed 3 nights in Biloxi, Mississippi. Had a great time. If you've ever been in the Gulf of Mexico, great food, great Southern folks, and just had a great time. So then, where will I go after then? So then I said, you know what? I want to go to Louisiana, but I'm gonna go to a place in Louisiana I've never been. So I decided to go up to Shreveport, Louisiana, which is on the northern west part of Louisiana. So I went to Shreveport, and specifically I stayed in Bossier City, which is right across the river, right next to Shreveport. So I stayed there for 3 nights. I had never been there before. Absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. I met a lot of great people there. Again, a lot of great food. And the resort I stayed in was awesome. So then my next stop.
Let me, if I could, so you spent 3 nights, you said, in Biloxi?
That's correct.
Now, how long did it take you to get out there on your bike?
It took me about 8.5 hours to get to Biloxi.
From Orlando, from Old Town? Man, you're constant, so you have a fuzz buster on your bike, right? That's what they call them. That's what they used to call them. I don't know what they call them now, to let you know when the law is, when Smokey is around.
Yeah, I mean, we got the app called Waze these days. So Waze is a good app.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. So, what did you actually bowl while you were in Biloxi?
I did.
Wow, how'd you do?
I shot the ball really well. I bowled doubles, and I bowled doubles with a partner of mine. I had a partner that actually drove out there. I told him I would meet him out there on a motorcycle. And matter of fact, he actually drove my balls out there. So he carried my balls out there. So I didn't have to obviously put them on the motorcycle, which would have been very difficult to do. So so we shot the ball really well as a team, and we're looking to cash in that event. So that tournament has been going on for a few months because it was a big tournament, and that tournament just finished up in June, and we finished up in one of the cash spots in doubles. So, so we made a little money, but we made a little money while we was out there.
Okay, so you're going to introduce pictures as we go along. So I'll just leave that to you. Let me back out and so now we're in Shreveport. We moved on to Shreveport.
Right. All
ears.
Yeah, Shreveport was awesome. I mean, I had never been there before, and the actual resort I stayed in is in Bossier City, and it's separated by a river. So you got one side is Bossier City, the other side is Shreveport. And I stayed at the Horseshoe Resort there, and it was beautiful beyond beautiful. I mean, you have everything on that river. You have Samstown, Margaritaville, Boomtown, the Horseshoe. You got everything. Everything is right there on that river. You got shops, you got shopping. So it was just a beautiful town to be in. A beautiful city, beautiful food, and the people there was absolutely great. And I enjoyed the people the most because I kind of got out and rode my bike around the city here and there, made some stops at different things, and then I ate a lot at the resort. But then I went to other resorts because they're all right there on the river.
So at this point, are you like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it this far all the way to my destination and return on this bike? Are you loving it? Where are you with the bike at this point?
Well, that's a great question because when I left Biloxi to go to Shreveport, Louisiana, I ran into a lot of bad weather. So right around when I got in Baton Rouge, before I started heading up north, which is another 3 to 4 hours to get there, I ran into a lot of bad rain, and the rain it was picking up with wind. It wasn't just rain; it was wind and rain. So I kind of pulled over, and I had my rain gear. I put my rain gear on, and then it got kind of chilly, so I put some thermal gear on, and along with my rain gear, and I got back out there. So I was like, man, I mean, in a car you got 4 wheels. On a bike, it's just 2 wheels. So in travel with God's grace and travel and mercy, I mean, I just took my time. And matter of fact, I was passing cars that was pulled over or that slowed down and pulled over on the side of the road, and I was still on the bike going.
How many miles of bad weather did you encounter on this stretch of the road?
This stretch of the road, it never stopped. It was the rest of the night.
From Baton Rouge to Shreveport, you encountered this weather at night.
Yes. Yes, at night, because the day I left, I still bowled in a tournament the day before. The same day I hit the road, so I bowled in a tournament that morning. I ran into that afternoon, so I didn't really hit the road until mid-afternoon, and I had a 5-hour ride. But by the time I left Biloxi and got to Baton Rouge, which was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours into the trip, so for about 3 hours, it took me about maybe 4.5 to about 6 hours to really get about 3.5 hours down the road because the weather was that bad.
Wow, I can't imagine you fighting through that. I mean, I know your schedule was your own, but I can't imagine you. I mean, everything's got to line up perfect, for a guy like me. If I was on a 3-wheel bike, but hey, hats off to you. I think actually when you were in you went from Biloxi to Shreveport. I think when you were in Shreveport, I was in New Orleans because I was thinking you were coming up there the next week. Of course, you did a little differently. But I'm telling you, I followed you every step of the way. Every step of the way. How do you clean your bike when you get out of all of that inclement weather, the dust that you, I'm sure, encountered as you were coming from out west? How do you keep your bike clean and so forth?
Listen, I had it cleaned a couple times. Absolutely. Actually, well, I kept a couple microfiber towels with me, just in general. And obviously, just when you're traveling, you're going to hit a lot of love bugs. You hit a lot of, a lot of debris, dust, and wind, and all those types of things. And a lot of times, when you get hit with weather, that helps a little bit, but not much. But yeah, I mean, so when I would stop and when I would stop, I would definitely wipe the bike down, you know, get a little soap and water to hold out in a little bucket and just kind of clean it off a little bit to where you don't get hit with a lot of that stuff, and a lot of the kind of stuff gets stuck in the paint because it's in the middle of June, so it's hot when it's hot. So therefore the whole nine. So keeping it clean as much as you can helps with the paint over time.
Okay. Continue on, man. I can't wait to see these pictures either. Go ahead.
So my next stop was Dallas. So when I got to Dallas, I was excited because I had, here I'm at another city, and I ran into some bad weather from Shreveport to Dallas as well. So it wasn't as bad as from Biloxi to Shreveport, but I still ran into some rain there. And then I wanted to go up to Oklahoma. I wanted to go visit the WinStar. And the WinStar is a big place that it's the largest casino in the United States, which is in Thakersville, Oklahoma. So I wanted to go visit there because I bowl a lot in casinos when I go out west, and bowl a lot in casinos in Biloxi. So people kept telling me about the world's largest casino is in Oklahoma. So I said, man, I want to go see this place. I want to go see this thing. So I went to Thakersville, Oklahoma, which is just north of Dallas, about an hour north of Dallas, and had a chance to go there. This place is absolutely humongous. Had a great time there, fantastic time, and stayed one night up there before I headed off to my next journey.
How many? So how on that bike? How often do you need to gas? If you're driving straight through, how often would you stop and gas?
Well, I get about 230 miles a gallon. I mean, a tank.
Okay.
230 miles a tank. So I got a six gallon tank, and so roughly about 240 miles. So every about 2.5, about 3 hours, I can get about 3 hours down the road.
So that actually is a good stopping point. I was I'm gonna interject a little story here. When we were living up near Chicago, I flew down, and my dad would use his contacts. Well, he was a contact, would help us get great deals on cars. I would fly down to Florida and get my cars and drive them back. And one time I drove down my co-host, who is invisible tonight to the show, rode back with me, and it was the most comical trip to Chicago in all points in between and around I'd ever had. And the deal was that we were going to drive a tank of gas apiece. We weren't going to spend the night. I don't think it just went straight through. So we got on the outskirts of not way before we left the city limits. And he says, I got to take my medication. I think it was something it was nothing really internal, sort of like for, I don't know, a bump or something like that. He said, well, player one, I just took my medication. I'm incapable of driving. You got the first grab. So I was supposed to be driving. He was supposed to be driving. So I asked about that because he duped me on that trip on the driving. As he said to me the other day, I got you on this one, dog. He said, yeah, bro, you did. So I just had to throw that in. So 2 or 3 hours was a good stopping point. I can imagine really on a bike. Now, I talked to you one night when you were on the bike, and I thought that you had to have been inside of a resort because it was so calm, it was so quiet. I couldn't imagine a moving car being that quiet. And you said, no, man, I'm actually right. I think you were riding in Arizona or New Mexico. I'm out on it was unbelievable. What about some of the equipment along this journey?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I was actually in Arizona when I was talking to you at that time. The best of the best. I mean, one of the things that I made sure I did is I invested in the best of the best equipment when it comes to headwear, when it comes to, jackets, pants, boots and shoes, and definitely audio, because I thought that's a huge big part of being able to communicate, doing whatever you need to do. So they have these helmets now that you can buy that's equipped equipped with audio systems in them, and you can impart even better audio systems in them. And so so this helmet, is an $800 helmet, which is a lot more than the norm. But yet, or what have you, I wanted to have the best of the best. So therefore, I wanted the convenience of riding like we ride in a car on Bluetooth. I want to do the same thing if I'm riding on my bike, and have the background noise canceled out to where no one could hear anything. So that was important. And whether I'm listening to music, and definitely whether I'm talking to family and friends.
Wow. So now you're going from Dallas to Oklahoma. You didn't come back down to Dallas.
I did. I came back down through Dallas, and I went 30 south down to 10 and went all the way over to El Paso.
Okay. Did you do any of the sites in Dallas, the assassination route or scene or any of that stuff?
Not then. Not on the first. Not going out. Coming back, I did a lot of things like that in Dallas.
Okay. Let me keep you on your tour.
So then I got over to El Paso. Now you talking about a ride? That's a 10-hour ride from Dallas to El Paso. And man, I mean, you talking about a never-ending road? That's a never-ending road right there. But you know what? I had planned it. I knew I was going to do it. I knew that particular day was going to be a day I wanted to get up early and get after this thing and mentally prepare for it. And that's what I did. And once I got to El Paso, El Paso, it's actually beautiful. We don't talk a lot about El Paso a lot, but it's actually beautiful. The food in Texas is absolutely awesome. And you talking about the ride was absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
When you get to West Texas, the mountains, the terrain, the landscape, the things that you see, was just absolutely breathtaking going over to West Texas, specifically El Paso.
Out on the West Texas town of El Paso. Okay. All right. So much for that. That's why I'm not a singer. Right. So you did Dallas to El Paso. You had a lot of scenery, because wasn't a whole lot of people, I would imagine, a whole lot of domains and those kinds of things. So what do you got going on to keep you focused? You got a little Sirius XM going on, Pandora, your own song list. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, playlists. I got different playlists. I like old school jams. I got a lot of old school jams. Music that you can listen to and you can just ride for hours upon hours on a time. And then a lot of songs I would put on repeat the whole night. I had nobody to tell me to change it. So therefore, the whole night I'm able to listen to what I want to listen to over and over again. And it's mentally stimulating, which made the ride easier.
Okay.
Which makes the ride easier. So you wind up, knocking out, a good little piece of terrain. And then I have a cell phone holder on my bike, so I can look at my phone while I'm riding simultaneously, just like you would look at a screen, look at your dashboard while you're riding the car. So I can watch movies, I can watch video movies. And a lot of times I started watching the video movies of the songs that I was listening to. As a way of, just kind of keeping me entertained as I'm moving down the road.
So you're just taking a quick glance, because you're not looking at it. You're just taking a quick glance, right?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of road ahead of you. So, I mean, it's, you got the phone in front of you. You see the road right here too as well. So,
okay.
But yeah, just a quick glance. I can hear already, but just a quick glance.
Yeah, for our young listeners, so may not be as experienced as Albert, that's nothing that you want to do, particularly down here in South Florida on any major metropolitan roadway. Albert, don't let me keep interrupting. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay, so when I left El Paso, I stayed the night in El Paso, and my next objective was to get to Phoenix, Arizona. Wow. So I had a 6-hour ride from El Paso to Phoenix, and from there I had to go up through the bottom part of New Mexico, and go through New Mexico, and that ride was more beautiful than the ride from Dallas to El Paso. Wow. That ride was phenomenal, and by the time I got to Phoenix, Arizona, I I had never been to Phoenix before in my life. And you know, and that place is beautiful. I spent some time in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is a suburb of Phoenix. Glendale, which is a suburb of Phoenix too, as well. Had a chance to go downtown Phoenix where the Phoenix Suns play and the Phoenix Mercury play, and I had a chance to go to the mall. And everywhere I ate in Phoenix, it was very good. It was better than good. Matter of fact, I went to one place every day. It was that good. I don't know why the food was just really, really good. I even went to a sub place called Chiba, called Chiba. That place was really good. So it was just great. I had a great time, and I went to the car wash there and had my bike detailed in Phoenix while I was there too. Just had a wonderful time.
I'm so glad. My wife and I just shortly returned. Wendy, we just recently returned from eating because I, at this point, would be pretty much starving. Hearing you talking about all the good delicatessens and all the good places you eat and everything, I'm sure I'd be quite hungry. We got to break it about a minute or two. How about Buc-ee's? Did you see many Buc-ee's along the route, along this route?
Absolutely. Those places are phenomenal. I saw a lot. I saw several Buc-ee's. Even going out on I-10, heading out west. Those places are phenomenal. You're talking about, just massive places where you can not only rest, but those places, I mean, you could go in there, take showers. I mean, you could do anything you want to do in there. I mean, those places are really, really set up for folks who want to take a break. There's campers in those Buc-ee's. There's a lot of different people stopping, and there's not anything you couldn't do at that stop when it comes down to rest, rejuvenation, and getting back out on the road. So those places are prepared and they're equipped for people that are traveling long distances. And
of course, the food is great in Buc-ee's also. Somewhere along the line, they need to compensate the dialogue tonight for this free advertisement, free advertising. I need to say this about Buc-ee's. They're only in Florida as south as around Ormond, Daytona Beach, and there's another one up near 95 St. Augustine, right by the Golf Village. So, but I'm sure they're going to make their way down here. For you all who don't know what Buc-ee's is this, as Albert has just explained, is this phenomenal rest stop. It's amazing. I don't care what time. Oh my gosh, don't be there during the summer. But even in the winter, anytime that you're there, and the one further south here has, I mean, it must have what, 20 things of 20, not gas tanks. I mean, 20 islands, gas tank islands. And people are parked all around, and they're in the gas tanks, and they're parked in front of the store. It is just an amazing place. And I'm sure you saw other places like that. Tell you what we'll do, Albert. We'll come here. We got you as far as Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale. You on your way to Vegas, and some great things happen with you in Vegas. Our friend was involved in that. We're on our way to that. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. You're talking about advertising, you talk about Buc-ee's and those places. You talk about quality. That's what we're talking about tonight. My friend is traveling on a quality bag. He'll talk about it further. But quality is GoGigaWorld.com. They're the ones that make a guy like me look good. Amen. Okay, I'm not in church. All right. GoGigaWorld.com has all your virtual needs knocked out, taken care of. They got all of your web design, all of that stuff. They got it. They do your marketing. They will fully set you up. Did I see Sounds of Blackness? Did I see Anthony Hamilton? Oh, there was a lady. I won't say that she was the vice president when it first came up, but she sure did look like Sister Girl. So go gigaworld.com. The Toyas and Markia and Company, they do a great job. Try them out. Just tell them the Dialogue sent you. You might get a dime off, okay? All right. So is this part of the show when we do, are you serious? Governor Despicable gets that a lot. Dang, dog. Jar's been in that quite a bit lately. But we really like doing shout outs. We like doing shout outs. And tonight's shout out is to my brother, Bill McCormick. Bill is on a golf resort right now. He's just enjoying the fruits of his labor. Bill does the South Florida HBCU Golf Classic every year over in the Tribute Golf Course over in Naples, Florida, a place that when you play in a tournament like that, you with the right guys, they'll even make you look good. Sometimes you hit the shot that makes them look good. But Bill does that and raises funds for HBCU, specifically Florida. Look at that gorgeous course. You just saw my friend. He's often on the show, Pastor Anthony Burrell. I mean, you could the fairways on this course are superior to most greens that you see in golf courses nowadays. It's just a quality event. This was the post banquet, and let me tell you about the banquet. Since Albert's been talking about food and how good food was, man, that food was fantastic. They had great prizes, great surprises. They had raffles that were, and it was all for a great cause. It was for HBCUs primarily, and I stay right there, primarily HBCUs, but primarily for Florida Memorial College, where Bill McCormick, who's a friend of the show, he's been on several times. Is there any way we can make that a little larger? I know I'm pushing it. Yeah, thank you, sis. So this group, the guy who's hugging his sister's name is Dave. We sat at the table with Dave and his team, and it turns out that they won the darn tournament. They were the ones who were introduced as the winners of the tournament. So they got up and got the first place prize. They also won numerous prizes during the banquet. And what you see is can you imagine a fruit basket? That's what we call a golf basket. It had a little golf doodads in it and rounds of golf and those kinds of things. Dave and their partner won a Miami Dolphin golf bag. I mean, I'm sitting at the table saying, my gosh, how does this happen? They're going to win everything. So the sister you see there was seated at the table in front of us, and the young lady seated next to her. And then over across from her, they won several prizes. This sister won nothing. So at the end of the banquet, he looked at her. He said, "Ma'am, did you win anything Dave did?" She said, "No, I didn't, but I had a good time." He said, "Well, you're going to have a better time. This is yours." And he presented her this prize of his, and he put his arm around her, and we had to snap that picture. So it was just a quality. Bill McCormick does first, and his team does first-class work, and he attracts first-class people. I was glad to be a part of it. That's the championship. Those are the trophies. Next year, I'll be grabbing one of those first. Who is that guy? I don't know if he's standing correct, if his golf posture is good, but he sure had a good time. And the weather cooperated with us for the most part. Just a great time we had the other night. And this is the medallion, which is part of, when you go to a golf tournament, they give you doodads, they give a lot of stuff is promotional. This was just a memorabilia to remember the tournament. If you want to wear it as a chain, it'll be a pretty big chain, but it would definitely be a nice ornament in your den or in your office or somewhere to remember a great 6 or 7 hours over the Tribute Golf Course over in Naples, Florida. Now, I want to close this segment out, this shout out to Bill McCormick and his team. I want to close it with a video, and I'm going to let this young man explain it himself.
My name is Jamel Stewart, graduate of Bethune-Cookman University, 2005, class of 2005, man. Here at the HBCU Golf Classic at Naples, man. And also, our team, unfortunately, came in second place. Also, and I had a couple raffle prizes, actually. I won the 50-50 raffle, $600, as well as we got a nice little basket. I won a golf club, and that was pretty much it, man. It was a wonderful opportunity.
And do you pay attention to the preacher who you sat next to?
I seen the preacher sitting in the corner, so I had to go sit next to him, and I did have to pay a time to him.
That's your picture.
Told him to give it to the congregation.
That's your.
So what's funny about this brother is that at the end, his team came in second place in the tournament, so they were rewarded with those trophies. He cleaned house with the prizes, and he got some great prizes. And the last prize was what they call a 50-50 ticket, where you get the ticket and half of the amount of money goes to the organization, the other half goes to the recipient. The first person was not there to claim their ticket. And when they was not there, he was sitting one chair over from us, one table over. He slid over to Pastor Burrell, was sitting between he and I. And so he slid next to Pastor Burrell. He says, I want to sit next to the man of God and see if that's going to help me win this ticket. No sooner than he said that his ticket was called out. So when he won the money, or he won the prize, he brought Pastor Burrell for his congregation a portion which he designated a tithe. So it was that's the quality of people. It was a great tournament. That's next week, next year, about this time. We'll get Bill on before the tournament next year. That's South Florida Golf HBU Golf Tournament. Let's get back to my good friend Albert Dodd. He has some pictures to share and take us further along the trip. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, and matter of fact, my next stop from Phoenix was Las Vegas, and Las Vegas was that ride was even beautiful. It was the most beautiful stretch that I was on, which was from Phoenix to Las Vegas. That was the most beautiful stretch that I was on. So it got even better. I thought Dallas to El Paso was great, and it was. I thought from El Paso to Phoenix was great, and it was. But it was not as good as from Phoenix to Las Vegas, Arizona. You get a chance to take that trip on land, please do that. You will have a bunch of pictures. You'll be glad you did. But when I got to Vegas, I did a video in Vegas, just to keep folks posted, family and friends alike, that I had made it to Las Vegas. So we could bring up that first video of me making it to Las Vegas and really giving a shout out, posting that on social media.
Greetings from the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Man, I made it to Las Vegas all the way from Orlando, Florida on my beautiful 2022 Road Glide Limited. Man, what a beautiful ride along the way. We live in a beautiful country. I encourage everyone to get out and see it on the road and not just through air. But listen, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do or what's too big. You can do anything that you put your mind to. You can live your life as big as you want to live it. All you got to do is delight yourself in Him. He'll give you the desires of your heart. And in all that you do it in faith. Do it knowing that you gonna make it happen. Peace out.
Amen. I didn't know you appreciate Albert.
Amen. Too often times we allow other people to control our lives by listening to what they think we can or cannot do. And you got to take ownership of your life and ownership of what's inside your spirit and go live. Your only limitations is what you can conceive yourself doing in your head. If you can see yourself doing it, if you can see it happening, then you can actually do it. If you believe you can, you can. Just like if you believe you cannot, then you're probably right too. You would never outperform your belief level. And I believe that I could do it. I said in my spirit to do it. I created a plan to do it, and I just want to let everyone know, listen, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do or what you can't or what can't happen. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. And that was the purpose of that video.
Madam Producer introduced our church service yesterday. We were virtual, and she introduced our program, our service. She introduced it with the song from the First Church of Deliverance. God will give you as far as you can see. And Papa Gray does that dialogue. God will give you as far as you can see. Jesse Jackson says, if I conceive it, and if I believe it, I will achieve it. Thank you for that word, Albert.
Amen, amen, amen. And listen, I believe that with everything in me. My whole life has been governed because of that. But from Vegas, I had a great time in Vegas. And I actually, from Vegas, I went to Reno, Nevada.
Oh, wow.
And I bowled in another tournament in Reno. But to Reno, I actually kept my bike in Vegas, and I actually flew from Vegas to Reno. Even though both cities is in the same state, I had plans to fly from Vegas to Reno before I left to go out there. So I kept my bike in Vegas, flew up to Reno, stayed in Reno for 3 nights.
Wow.
Bowled in the National Stadium, the National Bowling Stadium, had a phenomenal time there, competed on the world largest bowling stadium in Reno, Nevada. It's a very beautiful place. If you get a chance to visit Reno, go to the National Bowling Stadium. You'll know when you see it, because you're going to be like, man, what's that big thing there? The National Bowling Stadium. So I had a great time there. I competed, and we bowled well enough. We're going to be cashing in that event too as well. And I had my balls shipped out there through Federal Express before I left for Orlando. So I had them shipped out there, and I had another set of my balls that I had one of my partners to meet me in Biloxi with. So I had balls traveling all over the place for me to get them when I got there.
Oh, man.
Had a great time there. Flew back from Reno to Vegas, got back on my bike in Vegas, and then rode out to California, and then rode to Los Angeles, California. Had never been to LA before. It was a dream to go there. And I said, you know what? We're going to make it happen. And we're going to make it happen. So Chrissy, my partner, she flew to Vegas, and we both rode over to Los Angeles together. So that was a great time, and we had a phenomenal time. We spent time in Beverly Hills, the Beverly Hills section of Los Angeles, and we had a phenomenal time there. Just phenomenal time.
It was about a 6-hour drive.
It's a 4-hour ride.
4-hour drive. Okay.
Yeah, 4-hour ride from Vegas to Los Angeles. It's really about 3.5, but the portion of LA we went to, which is kind of like West LA, it took us about 4 hours to get there.
Wow. I bet your bike was glad to. So, I wanted to ask you before the break, when I ride a bike, a pedal bike, and I've ridden from here to South Beach, which is about 40 miles. And I never do less than usually a 20-mile ride when I get on it. But when I get on that bike and when I get off it, I feel the bike for a minute or two. Did you, at any point in this trip, in this journey, did you continue to feel the ride after you got even returned home? Did you feel it for a week or several days?
No, I mean, the bike is very comfortable. It is extremely comfortable, and I got to thank my awesome good friend and that sold me the bike, which is now a great friend and business partner. And matter of fact, I mean, he picked out the bike for me.
Wow.
And I came down there and bought it. He knew exactly what I wanted. He knew exactly what was good for me. He literally picked out everything on the bike and set the bike aside before I could even see it physically myself. He said, "This is the bike for you." And I trusted him, and when I got there, we didn't have to do anything else but just sit down, and he put me in the bike.
Wow. And he's here with you, right?
Absolutely. This is the awesome Paul Sapiro. How you doing, Paul?
Man, I'm glad to be here. I'm enjoying it. I just, I also, like you do, I was following this trip on Facebook, and I'd check in every once in a while, and I'd get to talk to Albert, and he'd either be on the bike or he'd be busy doing whatever. But so just sitting back, I'm just sitting in the corner over here, kind of just keeping my mouth shut. But I'm kind of enjoying it too. This is neat because this is the first time I've really gotten a play-by-play of what was going on this trip, and it's just been really kind of fantastic just to be able to sit back and listen to it and kind of imagine what he was seeing as he's describing it to us. Kind of like what you're doing there as well, and. So I'm just having a good time. Just gonna hang back and I'm gonna keep listening, and I'll keep I'll keep paying attention and thinking about what might have been like for you.
So awesome, Paul. Hey, Paul. 50 years ago, not quite 50 yet, just about there. I was a cop, and all I ever wanted to do was be a detective, and I was being transferred out of the detective bureau to another specialized assignment. And the chief said to me, he said, "I almost put you on the bike squad. I almost put you." And he said, "If you don't get it out of my office soon enough, because I was trying not to go to this assignment that they were sending me to," he said, "you might find yourself on motors tomorrow." I hustled out of there because for some reason, I just didn't want to ride a bike. You and I are going to have to talk sometime about the joys of riding that bike.
Oh, man, I think you missed an opportunity. Those motors guys are really skilled riders. I mean, those are guys that they have control of those motorcycles at a level that most people never, ever will. And, that comes with training and seat time naturally. But, I mean, those guys – if you still got buddies that were motors guys, those are the guys you want to talk to. The people that your friends that you can trust are the guys that you want to have help you get into the right motorcycle. Rather than Albert was dealing with me and I'm a salesman, right? Maybe I sold him what was best for me, but because we're buddies, he knows that he's going to get treated right. But a guy like you, you knew guys that were motors officers, those are the guys, those are your buddies that really just want the best for you, and they're going to get you set up with what actually is going to be right for you. That's what I would do. That was in Florida, or were you somewhere else at the time?
Yeah, that was actually in Central Florida. But 45 years later, if I decided to do the album, we intimated that I might lease one, do a ride, maybe to Key West or something. It'll be a 3-wheeler.
3-wheeler, huh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, those trikes are awesome, and the wind feels exactly the same on them as they do on the bike. So you're not missing anything but the anxiety at the stop signs. That trike's the way to go.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. We'll be hollering back at you later. Albert, you are now in Beverly Hills. You and the lovely Miss Chrissy. By the way, folks, Albert, Wendy, Chrissy, and I met on a celebrity cruise ship, a 10-day cruise last November. We had the time of our lives. We saw this attractive couple boarding the ship as we were just about boarding. He said, "I'm gonna be talking to you, man." I had no idea we would be hanging out. You wouldn't believe this. We were earlier today. Was that last night? Wendy was showing me pictures of when we had that seaside dinner, which we got hopped on we rented a golf cart and drove down to the beach. You guys drove, we rode shotgun, and we just had a great meal, and that was just indicative. She was showing me pictures from that. Just a great time, my friend. Just a great time.
Oh man, that was a great time. And as a matter of fact, we caught the shuttle together to go over to the ship when we parked our cars.
Right, that's right. That's right.
So we even met way before we got to the boat. But that was but our spirits just kindled, and then I watched how you asked Wendy, "Hey, did I get my laptop? Did I have this right here? Did I have this right here?" And I'm like, "Well, this guy here, he's a businessman, and I got a chance, and I was just inquisitive to get to know you and Wendy, Chris, and I. I mean, we were we was blessed. I mean, you guys are phenomenal. And we said, you know what, man, we want to make sure we stay connected to this couple here. And we did. We even played basketball together. We went up there. We did this. We did that. I mean, we did everything.
You know what? We had a basketball in our hands, and I think we had a couple of shots, see who's gonna make it from this side or whatever. But what was greater was that we had a bromance. We bonded further, and we had some great conversations about life up on top of that ship.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you because you allowed me, to ask you the things that was on my heart and to talk to you about those things, and you gave me things that I've taken to heart and that I've actually put in motion. So I appreciate you allowing me to talk to you about myself and what I've experienced, and then you kind of gave me some guidance from your experience. So I appreciate that more than you know.
Bless you, brother. You blessed me by just entrusting me with your concerns like that. Bless you. Hey, take us on through this trip, man. We're having a time of our life. Paul, man, I'm glad you're enjoying this as much as I am. And I know
I'm on board now. I'm fully invested. So let's go, Albert. Tell us about it.
Listen, Paul is listening. So my life was in Paul's hand, and I'm telling you, he chose the bike, and I just went with it. And Paul, I want to say I thank you, bro, for doing everything that you did. Seminole Harley is where Paul is, and I just want you all to know. I mean, I didn't buy one bike from him. I bought 2 bikes from him, and the second bike I bought from him in the whole 9 was the one we went cross country with. So anyway, so when I left Vegas, I wanted to come back a different way than the way I went out to Vegas. So it was very important for me to go back a different way. So when I left Vegas, I had an 8-hour ride all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
From Los Angeles?
No, from Las Vegas.
Oh, you went back to Vegas?
Yeah, I went back to Vegas.
Okay.
And I stayed in Vegas for about 2 weeks. I stayed there for about a week the first time. I went to Reno, came back, then went over to LA. And when I came back to Vegas, I stayed in Vegas another week. So I stayed in Vegas about 2 weeks. I stayed on the West Coast all in all for pretty close to about 3 weeks on the West Coast overall.
Okay.
So I just was, that's a lot of things to do, a lot of sights to see, and I didn't just want to get out there and turn right back around. I want to get out there and stay for a while. I don't got no plane to catch. I mean, there's no time for it. I get to leave when I want to. Wow. So that was very, very, very important for me to get out there and really just kind of stay as long as I felt like the need to stay. So nevertheless, I made a decision on the 27th. So I left on the 1st, and then on the 27th, I made a decision I was going to start leaving the West Coast to head back to Florida, but I was going to come back a different way. And my first stop was Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that place was that was also a beautiful ride too. That was a beautiful ride as well. And I had never been to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and never really been in New Mexico at all. So I mean, so that was a whole nother terrain. Had a chance to stay at the Route 66 hotel and casino, and the famous hotel and casino called Route 66. That was beautiful. And when I left New Mexico, I came into Arizona, and when I came in, I went through Arizona to get to Mexico. So when I went through Arizona to get to New Mexico, one of the greatest things when I was in Arizona, I had a chance to stop in Seligman, Arizona, which is the foundation or the birthplace of Route 66. Wow. So that was a little history that I was able to do on the way to New Mexico. I stopped in Seligman, Arizona, and just kind of toured Seligman, toured the birthplace and of that famous route. I had never been on the route before, but I figured that if I come this far, I'm going to go check out the route, go to the birthplace of that particular route, and really enjoy it. There was a lot of people I had a chance to sit down, had a lot of chance able to talk to while I was out there, and there's people out there. That's living in campers and living out of nowhere. I mean, when you're in this part of Arizona, you're really in Grand Canyon country.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's a lot of land and it's a lot of cactuses and there's a lot of desert.
A lot of snakes.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of all that stuff there. That. So, but it's people that love it though. I mean, it's miles and miles before you can get to civilization. So, and that's another thing. Probably one of the most scariest things about the trip that we haven't talked about yet is I'm on a bike with a 6-gallon tank, so sometimes you will run out of gas before you get to the next station. So I mean, I never ran out, but I got really, really close. Wow. And so that was probably the scary part because you would go for miles and miles and miles and like, okay, wait a minute, when's my next station?
Wow. How about internet? Did you have internet service out there in New Mexico and Arizona, all those desert areas that were so remote? Did you have? Was your phone still able to get a satellite?
In most places it was. Because you're running in and out of signal. Okay. So I mean, it's there's civilization out there, but sometimes it's 20, 30 miles in between, other places. Wow. And I had a chance to stop in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. And I want to show the next video. I had a chance to stop in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. And when I stopped there, what was intriguing to me is that I saw a guy who had a trailer. He had a bike, but he was pulling a trailer on the bike. And I'm like, I gotta go talk to this guy. First of all, he's a rider, so I'm gonna go talk to him. But he had a trailer, and I want to talk to him to find out where he was going.
Wow.
Let's go to the video.
Greetings from the great city of Santa Rosa, New Mexico. That's right, Santa Rosa, New Mexico. And listen, I'm here at the travel station, and I just ran into this awesome young man, the awesome Corbin from Austin, Texas. He's also on a trip. He's going to Oregon. We're in Texas. We're in New Mexico. He's going to Oregon. Tell us about your trip.
Well, I decided I needed a time away from work, so I took 2 weeks off, and I'm heading up to Hills Canyon, Oregon. That's just my destination. I'm on no itinerary. I got 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks to get there and to get back. If I make it, great. If I don't, well, I still spend 2 weeks on a motorcycle.
Listen, he's going to make it, but I want to show you his motorcycle here because he has a trailer. He has a trailer hooked up to his motorcycle. Look at this. Man, he's ready. Got camping gear in the trailer. He's doing camping in Hills Canyon, Oregon. And man, I want to let folks know that, listen, that there's bikers out here living life, traveling, and really have no time schedule. No time schedule. That's the best way to ride and see the country. Have no time schedule and just ride, enjoy. And when you feel like stopping, you feel like camping, you feel like staying here, then stay there and enjoy yourself. Listen, we're live all the way from Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Myself and the awesome Corbin. Man, what a great time we're having. See you at the top.
Paul, I don't know about you, man. I'm having the time of my life, and I followed Albert when he was doing this stuff. And now knowing the backstory, this is just awesome.
That was one of the videos that I remember catching right when he put it up, and the Vegas one I actually saw as well, right about the same time he put it up, and it's you know what, it's fun. It's fun to watch him do something that most people will never do in their life. It's a when you think about, what he did was a huge undertaking to do something so basic as just go. You got the whole rest of your life that you kind of have to set up so that you can make a trip like this, and you have to, prioritize these life experiences so that you know that, there's a lot of stuff that actually can go on the back burner for a little bit of time so that I can go out and I can experience what everybody else isn't going to. you know, and he's talking about how beautiful the ride was from here to here and from there to there. And, you know, I bet you most people fly through there in the car and don't realize that they just went by. So, you know, when everything's open around you, it's a lot easier, I guess, to notice what's around you as well. And I think that's probably, you know, there's probably people that are going to hear that and go, hey, I drove that stretch. I don't remember it being that. Well, that's because you weren't paying attention, you know. And I think it's just a huge life experience thing that he did. And you know, I was jealous before he left. I'm jealous now that he's back. You know what? I just think it was incredible. You know, it's incredible.
Hey, Paul, I understand how easily it would be to be jealous, but we can't even allow hate to run into this. So this is such a great experience. This is a great. Let me just tell everybody in Dozell land out there, and I know a lot of you are over there on YouTube, and if you're over here on Facebook, leave us some comment. We want your comments on the show. I see some of you all are hitting the like button. Leave us some comments. Ask Albert some questions. Ask Paul some questions. And do the same thing on YouTube. We'll get back to you retroactively, even from YouTube, from that forum. I got to tell you this. Normally the dialogue is off, and we've really worked hard that we're off. We're 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is so good tonight. I beg, Madam Producer, to grant us a couple of, you know, like three more nickels, like 15 after. And she said, go ahead, I'm enjoying it. So we're going right ahead. Keep on, Albert. Keep it on, bro.
Well, listen, so now I'm in Santa Rosa, and I'm on my way to I'm actually on my way to Texas. So from New Mexico. So and so I had a friend of mine. My goal was to go to Dallas. So I mean, so Dallas was going to be roughly about a 10-hour ride from Albuquerque. So I was in Albuquerque, then I stopped in Santa Rosa when I left at Albuquerque to get gas up, get some rest, and stay hydrated. Met the guy, did the video. But then I had another guy I met on the same cruise that we was on, Dozell, the same cruise. I met this guy in the same cruise. I met him down in the casino, and you know, and he was from Dallas. So I said, you know what? Let me call this guy and let me see. You know, most of us, we never call people. We get people's names and numbers, and we just never call them ever. And even when we go visit their cities or go through their cities, sometimes we forget to call, or sometimes we just are not cognizant. But my spirit say, hey, listen, let me call this guy, and I let him know, hey, man, I'm going to be coming through. If I can see you tonight or the next morning, I would love to. He told me, wait a minute, you mean to tell me you making a 10-hour ride on today? I said, absolutely. He said, listen, man, I got a place in Amarillo, Texas that you're going to be passing right through in about 5 hours. If you get tired or sleepy or need to rest, you can go to my place. And when he first told me that, you know, I was saying, well, I'm not going to stop in Amarillo. I plan on riding a lot longer till I get to Dallas.
Yeah.
But he said, man, there's a heat warning out there. I'm just putting it out there to where you know. Well, little did I know, as I was riding, I mean, it's hot. And if you're on a Harley, it's a little bit hotter. Okay. And so I'm already in 105, 106 degree temperature. When I was stopping, put ice in my cup, I mean, the ice did not stay ice that long. So, you know, I said, you know what? I wasn't in a rush to get out here. Why am I trying to do 10 hours to get back, just to get to a certain city? So my spirit say, call him back and take him up on the offer.
Wow.
So I reached back out to him. I said, listen, I'm going to take you up on that. By the time I get to Amarillo, I will need to stop, rest, get off my feet. And I just come to Dallas the next day. He said, say no more. You know, he has a sister-in-law that lives in Amarillo. He had her to come meet me with the key at his place. and I was appalled what I saw and what I experienced when I got there.
Wow. Tell us about it.
Listen, this man has a 26,000 square foot penthouse in downtown Amarillo. Now, he didn't say none of that when I talked to him. He just said, I have a place that you can stop to and rest. So I'm like, okay, traditional apartment that's maybe not for rent, or a home that's not for rent. Didn't matter the whole nine. I was appreciative of whatever it was. And because the main thing for him is to, hey, man, you don't have to do the whole drive by yourself or in one day with this heat like that. So when I got there, his garage, he has a 50-car garage downstairs. I mean, it's like, and it's the thing. I mean, like, what I was thinking, that he has a place in the building. This guy owns the whole building. He has the whole building. And he gave me the key to the whole building. And when I talked to him, he said, bro, if you want to cook, I got everything in the fridge, beer. I got soft drinks, this and that. There's food in there. If you want to laundry your clothes, you can use that. He said, matter of fact, I would, man, sit in the tub. Like, he has a jacuzzi tub. He said, man, get in the tub and relax. And matter of fact, and you stay in my room, not the guest room or the kids' room and all kind of stuff. I want you to stay in my room. So, and this is a place that he only comes to when he's in Amarillo. So, I mean, it was just mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling, what he had and me being there. And I just said, man, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. And, he was like, man, and I actually, he was like, man, you can wash your bike in the garage. I got all that stuff in there for you. He said, take your time, and said, you want to go get something to eat, you can. You want to order something, you can. You want to cook something, you can. He literally just laid out the red carpet. And I'll say, man, I mean, this man that know me from a can of paint outside of us meeting each other on the cruise. And now, now he's opening up his home. And I just was really blown away. And I did a video on that. And I just really, really thank God for the relationship that we created.
Let's see that video, Madam Producer.
So I don't think I sent that one to her, but I can send that one though.
Okay, yeah. Listen, go to Albert Dodd's Facebook page. It's on there, and it's awesome. He walks around the apartment or the condo and shows. And I talked to him while he was there, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So you want to just? She was gracious to give us a few more minutes, but would you take maybe 30 seconds or so and just talk about the power of relationships? And I know that's what your business is about. Just talk about the power, just segment from that situation to the power of relationships, and we'll head out the door kind of from there.
Absolutely. Listen, the power of relationships is crucial. They really connect the dots. I mean, God has given all of us, everything we need, and he uses people and brings people together, allows us to cross paths with people.
Yes.
That he wants us to get to know, and he's trying to bless us through them. Yes. So my advice to you all is that, listen, I wouldn't be riding right now if it wasn't for me meeting Paul, and Paul, I thank God for relationship for you, because you've been so huge of me in this experience, and telling me and encouraging me that, hey man, you can do this as well. And Dozell, I really thank God for you and Wendy, because the relationship that we've created and that we've been able to bond and build has allowed me to really get some tutelage and really get some mentorship from you, and I thank God for that. And that has benefited me well, and has benefited the relationship, my relationship well too as well. So the power of networking is not so much about business per se, but it's about health, it's about wealth, and it's about friendship above all. And so I thank God for that, and I thank God for this opportunity to get a chance to speak to the audience.
Bless you. Well, now we don't want you to shorten yourself. We know you do business, and your business. You take this platform and talk about what you do.
Amen. Listen, I'm a senior vice president with Primerica Financial Services, and we basically help families make and save money for retirement. We help families with their life insurance needs. We help families get out of debt, and we help families build wealth and understand the ins and outs of their 401k and how to establish IRAs. So I've been in the business now for right at 19 years, going on 20 years. And it's the best decision that I ever made. I was a high school English teacher when I got involved in our business. I love teaching, but I wanted to teach on a different level. So once I got involved in the business, I realized that most of us, it doesn't really matter what we do for a living, and it doesn't matter how much money we make. But if we're ignorant of money, if we're financially illiterate, then we're going to succumb to financial ignorance. We're going to succumb to not knowing. And within my study of the Word of God and all our seeking, we seek knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And where we need that at the most is when it comes down to being greater stewards or better stewards of our money. And if we become better stewards of our money, then we can enlarge our territory. If we're faithful over little, then the Lord will bring us up higher and make us rule over much. So my name's Albert Dodd. You can find me on Facebook. You can direct message me on Facebook. You'll see my picture profile come up there, and please reach out to me if you have questions about financial matters or anything like that when it comes down to you and your family's financial home. I'll be glad to meet with you, set up a Zoom, set up a virtual meeting, or even one in the physical, whichever is best for you, and we can make sure you get the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what you're asking for. So I thank God for the platform, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Albert, you could not come on and bless us. Like Paul said, the way you're blessing us, and we not give you a chance to enhance what you do. And when you're enhancing what you're doing, you're enhancing all of our lives. So I thank you for what you do. Finish the trip. You're heading. I know you got to go through New Orleans, and
that's correct.
On the way home.
That's correct. So when I left Amarillo, I went to Dallas. When I got to Dallas, I wound up meeting with the young man I met on the cruise who allowed me to stay in his house in Amarillo. And listen, when I met with him, this man lives in a mansion in Dallas. He lives in actually Rome, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. And we spent time. He has a $500,000 motorhome that's right there on the campus of his home. His home is, I don't know how many acres, but he was just I had a chance just to personally thank him and for what he did for me, and really just continue to bond. And he invited me out to a birthday party in September that he's throwing a big birthday party for his mother-in-law, and he invited me to come back out to Dallas to participate, in that. And then when I left Dallas, I came down to Houston, then shot across to Lake Charles, spent the night in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and then I went to Essence Festival and stayed about 5 days in New Orleans for Essence Festival. Obviously, Essence Festival is not that 5 days, but it's all that weekend. But I stayed over there until Thursday of the next week as well. So I literally stayed about a week in New Orleans, and I had a phenomenal time. When you talk about food, I brag about food everywhere I go, because if it's good, it's good, and if food, if it's not, it's not. Yeah. But that thing is good in New Orleans. It is good in New Orleans. I went to a place called Ruby Slipper. Yes. Best breakfast I ever had. Probably the best French toast I've ever had. Wow. And it was just phenomenal, beyond phenomenal. But I would like to show this last video clip if I could. Don't know if we have the time, but if not, the whole nine.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I met some ladies in Dallas, Texas, that I was so blown away by the trip that they were on. They're 61 and 58 years of age. Wow. And I said, you know what? I said, listen, you all are women, and I thought these bikes belonged to men, but you all are women. So let's go to this video, and I just had to capture this because I was impressed.
So, hi everyone.
Listen, hey, listen, we got Jennifer and we got Stephanie. Listen, and also myself, Albert Dodd. Listen, we're all riders. Let me kind of show you the bikes. Okay? That's the Road Glide. That's the Heritage. And then here's the Hungry Lion right here, my bike. Listen, these ladies started their journey from Utah, and they went all the way to Connecticut, down to Savannah,
Down to Richmond, Virginia.
down to Richmond, Virginia,
Then Savannah, Georgia.
then Savannah, Georgia,
Then Slidell, Louisiana.
then Slidell, Louisiana,
And now here.
and
Gainesville,
now here
Texas.
in Gainesville, Texas.
And then we're going
Going to Albuquerque tomorrow, and then back to Salt Lake City.
Oh, so y'all going through Amarillo and all those places out in Albuquerque. Listen, they're going to be in Albuquerque tomorrow. I'm going to be in El Paso tomorrow. So listen, these are riders. These are riders.
5,800 miles.
5,800 miles. They started from Utah, and now they went all the way to the East Coast, and they're coming all the way back around. Man, I thought I was the only one that was nuts. Okay? But listen, this young lady, how young are you?
I'm 61 years young.
Don't she look good? She's 61, and you are?
58.
Don't she look good? I'm 43. So if they can do it,
Anybody can do it.
anybody can do it. Man, it's a pleasure to get a chance to meet you, ladies.
Nice to meet you.
I love riders. I just started riding a couple years ago, and listen, I was down in Dallas having an early dinner with one of my good friends. I said I need to get on up here and get checked in, and those types of things. But listen, you all are awesome. When I saw these bikes, you all automatically assume, oh man, so some other men bikes to hold on.
Yeah.
But these are ladies riding, okay? But listen, we're super duper excited, beyond excited. We love the ride, don't we?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we do.
Okay,
It's all about two wheels.
right. All about two wheels. All about two wheels. I wish you all a safe trip on your journey to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yep.
And we're after that.
Back to Salt Lake City.
Back to Salt Lake City. Me, El Paso. After El Paso, I'm going to Phoenix, Arizona. After Phoenix, I'm going to Las Vegas. And after Las Vegas, I'm going to LA.
There you go.
Okay?
You just be safe.
Listen, thank you. I would definitely do that. Peace out. What a pleasure it is to meet Stephanie and Jennifer. They're some true bikers, okay? It's not about the men. It's about what you got on the inside. And these ladies are riders. Peace out.
Shiny side up.
Paul, too much fun, man. Too much fun.
You know, I'm never ever surprised when people are nice to Albert because of the way he treats people.
That's right.
You know, he'd be like, "Wow, you wouldn't believe it. These people are so nice," and I'm like, "No, I would totally believe that people are nice to you." You know, it's just it's fun watching him talk to people.
Absolutely. Amongst his many other skills.
Yeah, I mean, we steamrolled right over the fact that he's bowling at a pro level and taking home money everywhere he goes.
Bowling and going to casinos.
As a superstar.
Awesome. Albert, you got any finishing touches you want to do as you arrive back to Orlando? I know you were the Essence. What all celebrities did you see there in New Orleans?
Listen, I saw Yo-Yo. Remember Yo-Yo back in the days?
Yes,
He was there performing. Jill Scott performed. Ice Cube and Ice-T performed. Ludacris performed there. Little John performed as well. Jermaine Dupri was there performing too. So and Missy Elliott was there performing as well. To say a few. I mean, so you had a lot of artists that was there performing, and it was great to see. And it's my first time going to Essence Festival, so it was great to be in that environment and from people from all over the world that's assembling in New Orleans, celebrating excellence, and specifically, excellence when it comes down to, just the essence of the Essence magazine and all of those things that we talk about. So then I got up. So after about almost a week of being in New Orleans on July 6th, I got up and I made my about a 10-hour ride back to Orlando from New Orleans. So So I came back to Orlando. And matter of fact, the same day I went to go see Paul. Same day I got back in town, I went to go see Paul.
Over in Sanford? Are you in Sanford, Paul?
Yeah, yes, sir. In Sanford. He's crazy. 10 hours on the bike, he gets home, gets right back on the bike, and rides up to see me.
Right.
So normally at this rate, I would ask you, what are you doing to fight your post-vacation depression? But knowing the positive, energetic, spiritual being that you are, and being affiliated with great souls, great spirits like Paul, I know that you are planning the next event, and you are getting others like us, like he and I and others. You are getting us invigorated for our next trip. So I won't ask you where it is, but I just want you to just plan big. And so we got a few weeks left in the summer. I'm going to do I'm going to do a show on cruises, and I'm going to do another show on just the whole vacation experience. And Paul talked about just the getting away. I heard the gentleman that was pulling the trail talking about just getting away. I heard those ladies talking about just getting away, and that's what you have shown us every step of this way. We're going to get you to come in with another energetic individual and ask you if you would to let's talk about just freeing the bonds. I mean, real bonds of complacency, of sitting home and not getting out and exploring this world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bless you, Albert. Paul, Albert, man, love y'all to life and can't say thank you enough. Thank you for all that you've done. Yes, that's our brother right there. Show that collection of them. Man, just so awesome. So awesome. And I mean, you know, I was talking to an athlete today, and we were talking about athletics and stuff like that. And we both say, man, but we are so much further and deeper than that. Albert is deeper than that. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He is a leader par excellence, and he leads by example. He leads his teams by examples, and he's leading us by examples. And we're just so grateful. Thank you so much for stopping by the dialogue tonight, my brother. And I can't thank you enough. And congratulations again on a great trip.
Amen. Thank you so much. And God bless you. Can't wait to get with you on Wednesday.
We're looking forward to the next time we're together on a boat.
Amen.
And we won't wait till the boat. We're going to get together prior to that.
That is right. That is right.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Albert. Thank you, Paul, for joining us. Thank you for.
I had a great time.
It was in fact a great time. So thank you guys so very, very much. Really appreciate it.
Amen.
So I'm going to take 1 second. Well, let me ask Madam Producer, do we have the dedication tonight? I don't know if we're able to do it. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So it's only fitting after such a positive show, such a positive people. Tonight's show is dedicated to the memory of Charles Chuck Cherry. He's an attorney at law. Charles left, as was stated, he flew past the surly bonds of earth and moved on towards his eternal home on this Saturday. 2 days ago, we learned we were leaving the golf tournament. Charles it turns out he's like a week and a year older than I am. I always thought I was a little older than he. Charles, as you can see, was a Morehouse man. He was an attorney. He was a state's attorney, a prosecutor for the state of Florida, and he also worked for the city of Fort Lauderdale, and even before retiring, he did legal work with various committees in the city. Charles leaves behind two beautiful young children. One is a recent graduate of Spelman University who's just done some certificate work or some work over in China. And just a fine individual. I actually met his dad first, who was a bona fide civil rights leader, as was Charles. Charles ended up taking over the family's businesses in journalism, radio stations, publications, the state's largest African American print media services, the Florida Times and the Daytona Times. And tonight we sent out a salute to you, Charles, and thank you for blessing this earth as you did. We are sure that your family will be blessed. Those two young people will continue to bless us and carry on the tradition of Mr. Cherry on down through you to them. Tonight's show dedicated to Charles Cherry. Listen, that's it. As I see it, listen to Albert Dodd, man. Listen to people who know how to get away. Listen to people who know how to celebrate life. Listen to people who know how to enjoy this great nation, the scenes in this state, this country. Just learn how to get away from it all. I preached a sermon a long time ago. I know people thought I was crazy. I talked about the blessing of getting away. You got to do it. It'll refresh, reinvigorate, rejuvenate you, and make you a better person. This is it. Thank you, Madam Producer. Go mogulgigacreations.com. Albert Dodd, you rock, man. God bless. Dialogue with Dozell. We'll see you next Monday night. We'll be here.